acknowledging that we're meeting here on the unceded lands of the Wurundjeri people, coordination and pay my respects to elders, past, present, and all the Indigenous people that's here today. It's with great pleasure that I'm here today with Mia Boe and Ma Ei on the occasion of Mia's exhibition, Going Insein. This is the second last week of the exhibition, and it's been an absolute pleasure to sit with it and to experience part of the development process. Maybe I'll introduce you both. Mia, I don't actually have a biography for you here, but Mia is a current Gertrude contemporary resident artist. So she's doing a residency with us in our Brisbane site. She's a fantastic young painter. Just with that
Sagittarius.
Yeah, who has had so many exhibitions recently. Showed at Melbourne Now. Recently had a solo exhibition at in Fitzroy, and now this right here, you are doing a residency next semester. Just for 1 month. Just for 1 month. So thanks for making it us. And Ma Ei is also an artist, performance artist and photographer. And we'll just read out the biography. So you were born in Ei in Myanmar in 1978, and your first encounter with painting began in 2007. The following year, Ma Ei became a member of New Zealand Art Space, the first contemporary art space in Myanmar. Performance work is often said to have a feminist aspect. This is also reflected in her lifestyle, defying traditional norms and living life as a female artist. With regards to photography, her approach is more scientific, echoing her early interest in sciences in school. You studied physics before becoming an artist. Yeah. Her collection of abstract photography, along with the documentation of her performances in past years, is a testament to her versatility and her creativity. In recent years, the work has changed and focused more about political issues. You were involved in the protest against the 2021 military coup in Myanmar, and in March this year came to Australia with refugee status. Yeah. So I think today we're going to talk about both the practices, but also the way that you relate to Myanmar. We both kind of have very different relationships to Myanmar. And I guess the theme of the exhibition is Insein Prison, which is a super draconian prison, kind of almost mythical status in Myanmar. It's housed a number of very well-known political prisoners. I think Aung San Suu Kyi was in prison there 3 times. And I'm wondering if you can both talk about how you relate to the prison. Mia, maybe you could go first because you haven't actually been there.
Yeah, no, I've only been to Burma once. My dad's Burmese, but he moved here when he was about 5, as a refugee as well. And so my sort of entry to Burma and Insein Prison has been just through reading and news and various books about the prison. A lot of the texts that I've read have been first-hand accounts of what the prison is like. It's very painful housing political prisoners, and since the coup, I think there are over 20,000 people. 20,000 people have gone through Insein Prison as political prisoners, and so my relationship to both my Burmese heritage and my Butchulla heritage, a lot of it has been learned through books and text. So this exhibition, the reason why I wanted to look at this as well is there's been a lot of research on the history of policing in Australia and from colonisation until today. It's been upscale. It's fun. but my research has been recently picked up a lot more since I went to Thailand at the start of the year and seeing an exhibition by a Burmese artist who had just got out of prison, and he had documented his time there with drawings and
At Insein.
yes, at Insein, and just been collecting more information on it from this sort of distant way,
But the prison is, I mean, can you kind of give a sense of what the prison is like?
it's
extreme.
It's extreme. So it was built by the British, and I think it was, I'm trying to get the date wrong. Do you know?
1878.
1878, not by the British, by the British colonists, and it's built in that Nocturne design. It I wanted to treat this exhibition as sort of just sharing of information as well, because Burma's not a country that a lot of Australians know about its history or even its current politics. So they do not think it's an extremely corrupt prison. If you can afford to pay for better food or a better bed, you'll be treated better, but the vast majority of people can't afford that. So it's unlike anything in Australia,
But it's also kind of like quite symbolic of the political upheaval that's been going on in Myanmar for years. I mean, maybe you can speak to it as well, having grown up in Myanmar and what it meant to people there. What was your experience of it?
Firstly, let me talk about the image of the prison. Excuse me for this because I'm worried about my English in my face. Actually, like Myanmar, it's 1887. And prison is notorious worldwide for its inhumane condition and corruption, abuse of inmates, and use of mental and physical torture. And physical torture to define being with a rubber pad filled with sand and chased by dog, and forcing them to crawl on their hands and knees across the gravel path. So this and then about the healthcare, it's just that prisoners have fever. If the prisoners have fever, they never give the medicine. When it's only get very bad, they will send to the prison hospital where many people die. So the images is they are famous for like how bad they are, and then the relation with the prison and me, because I have a really deep fear of the prison, because I read a lot of the article about the prison since I was young, since my childhood, and in my imagination, the prison is like very scary. It's dark, wet, creepy, and people there are like aggressive.
But it's quite common that it's written about it was written about a lot in Myanmar. Like it was common to find a lot of information about it. Like people spoke freely about the prison growing up.
And then another things another images that stick in my brain is it's also coming from the readings. There is a room with very dim light, and there are a few men. The prisoner who has a life sentence standing in a gallows. There is it's in my memory from the reading. There is the head of prison. He dropped the napkin as a sign of to release the trigger, and then the guard released the trigger, and then dead.
Because he's already serving a life sentence.
So it's like I read about this many times. It's written by the head of the prison.
Right.
He is a good writer, and that's why he is a good man. And he wrote about everything. The prison, and then I read about it since I was young. So it was like a trauma for me. The prison is scary. If I have to choose, you want to go prison or die, I'm going to choose to die. So
that's the fear that it kind of
has on it, obviously,
Right.
personal level for you. Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, we were speaking yesterday about the 2021 coup, which is kind of the most obvious reference point for a lot of Australians about Myanmar. But I don't think that many Australians, myself included, know a lot about the broader history of Myanmar and just how precarious the situation has been for so long. So could you both maybe kind of give a broader account?
Well, I've only sort of in the last 2 years been studying the history of Burma. I went there in 2018, I went there, but it was with friends. I was very naive, and I just didn't sort of, I didn't take it as much as I would take right now, but it's one of the most complicated histories Burma, because there's all these different stages of control. So there was like British colonists, and then there was like failed socialism, and then the military staged a coup. Was it in 1980, the first one? The first coup?
First coup is the second one is 1988, and the first is 1962.
1962. Yeah, and so the military's was in charge. I feel like maybe you should explain. You lived there. Well, I think it's okay. Yeah. Well, and so they were in power for about almost 50 years, and then in 2015 they sort of let there be a bit of democracy, and Aung San Suu Kyi's party, the National League for Democracy, was voted in, and then there was sort of, as you were saying yesterday, there was a sense of maybe some freedom coming when she came in, and the economics and better sort of living conditions. And then in 2021, military staged a coup, and since then, there's been ongoing protests, sort of revolution, civil war in a way, and it's sort of very unsure when it's going to end, how it's going to end, because a lot of the protesters have joined together with ethnic minorities in other states to sort of make this, is it called the PDF, the People's Defence Force? Yeah, and so they're fighting against the military, but countries like China and Russia are funding the Burmese military, and so they're getting warplanes and tanks. So although the numbers are in the NLD, there's sort of like it's always impossible. It seems impossible to be able to fight when you have like the funding of China and Russia. But
I can talk more a little bit details. So let me tell you about what happened to us on the day of the coup. So we just woke up late, and we didn't know that it's happened. So actually, it just happened last night, and then more than we didn't know yet. So nobody's called us, and then there was no internet. So it's just happened. So it's normal. So I was reading it, and my partner and his brother just came and talked because telephone connection was cut off, and
so everything was
cut off, and then the city is very quiet, and then his brother just came and talked. The coup just happened, so we just like shocked, and then after that we felt like we lost everything. Our future is gone. We just developed for 5 years. Everything is gone. We felt like we lost, and then it's like a few days that the whole country was in silence, and then on the third day, Monday, the second countdown, they started like protesting, and then a few days later, and the whole country started a demonstration and protesting. And so it's like the whole country protested like 3 months, very active.
That you were protesting.
Yeah. Every day people are like in the morning till night.
How did the protests, how were they organised? Did you organise protests, or was there a way of communicating to get, or was it just like every day you would just
No, every day just people go on the street and then you can join in a group. The street filled with people, and then the people have each other. Some people bring the foods and then donate the foods, and then some people even they lose weight, and then the skin getting brown dark because of the demonstrations. Yeah. And then 3 months later, they start shooting with the real bullet. Before they shoot with the rubber bullets, and then one day a girl was shot by the real bullet. She just died on the spot. And so the protesting less and less. And then finally, we can't do this anymore. And then many sham people like many civilian, and then even the doctor, the singer, artist, many young people, they don't even sing the real gun. They move to the jungle camp, and then they join the people defense force, and then they train there to fight the gun. Yeah.
So at what point did you decide that it was too unsafe? You decided that it was too unsafe for you in Myanmar, and then moved to
The border.
to the border and applied for refugee status.
Because even before the coup, I did a lot of works to against the military. So I'm already in danger.
Well, one of your works was called "Why is the military still in Parliament?"
Yeah.
And that was in 2017. So you were kind of setting yourself up to be friends with them. So you were already
I did a lot. Yeah, I perform like how shameless they are, something like that. Sometimes.
So what were some of the works that so this work, for example, Why is the Military Still in Parliament? That was performed at a gallery called Myanmar. Yeah, it was run by an American gallerist called Natalie Johnson. And can you explain the performance?
Okay. Okay. And the day I was wearing a dress, the color is the military, but they wear the green on like his hat. So this color, I wear this color, and then the shoe also I wear what they wear, and then I was like I was holding a silver ball, and then inside is the blood, not real blood, of course. Okay, some fake blood, and then the fake diamond, ruby, something precious. I used to think that maybe one day I can use the real ones. And then I was acting like I eat the diamonds and the rubies, and very greedy, with a very greedy action, and I threw them away. So the meanings is they took everything, the best, and then the rest, like maybe in English you see like you throw the ball and then so meaning like that. I suck the blood, after that I throw in the diamonds, and it's been like
over the map.
Over a Myanmar map. So
So I can understand how
And then the target.
Because I'm sorry, to connect with the title, so why they are still in parliament, because of this, the pressure still, they want to control the country, and they want the power, they will never get letting go of the power, so like this. And then even though in 2015 to 2020 we have like a good time of freedom, and then even this time they take the 25% of seats in the parliament.
So that was when it was kind of like the better times.
It was like a dream.
Mia, I guess I want to turn my attention a little bit to the exhibition now, with that kind of amazing backdrop that you've given us, and talk about some of the decisions you made about this show. I think for the most part, people are really familiar with your really large scale paintings. And here you've kind of, every time someone comes in, 50% of people who come into the show say, oh, I thought they were going to be big paintings. And you've kind of scaled it back so much, and the drawings are so intimate. Can you discuss why you chose?
I had a show opening the month before outside of a gallery that was about Burma as well, on the politics there, and they were 3 large paintings. And my back was sore. Paintings. I wanted to be able to sit and put them at a table, which was, a big concern for me. But a lot of these images and the history of the prison, and then now the current sort of post-coup life and relationship to the prison and Myanmar. It's I have this very almost distant but also familial relationship with it. My family that's still in Burma, I can't ask them about politics on Messenger because it's a real fear that their phones, messages, their messages are checked. So I have this personal relationship, but also this very distant relationship, and I kind of there's this what's the word to use? That I kind of am constantly going between what stories I should tell, what stories I shouldn't tell. So I haven't had that lived experience, but I have this familial connection to it, and I kind of saw these doing them small and intimate as a way of trying to treat them with a bit more intimacy for myself. And I've half of these works I'm keeping for myself and my doll, because they are very personal story. It's very how I relate to it's been quite personal, and
it's also it's been kind of like a journey for you, and that would be quite an emotional one.
It has been, because a lot of my other works are referencing stories about in history, and there's that time distance between them. But this is happening right now, so it's definitely been the most intense research I've done because it's so real. Just talking to family and also being Ma Ei, it's this is a real fear for people, and I don't know. I wanted to sort of be more intimate with these works, and I see them more as these are more works for me, as working out my research and creating images for myself rather than doing big paintings for the exhibition.
I think the scales really they're so fragile. There's a fragility to them that scale kind of matches with or exacerbates in a sense. Yeah. So my next question is for you again, Lane.
Okay.
And it's around just thinking around kind of medium and all that, you were talking about how in Myanmar there's kind of the sense of what is contemporary art is very limited. And you were doing performance when you were back in Myanmar, and you've been doing kind of, that's your main kind of area. But but for the most part, people in Myanmar think of art as just very traditional styles like painting.
Right.
So do you find that the performance is a way of also kind of acting politically? Do you think it's a political thing to be a performer rather than a painter?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Being a contemporary artist already political.
Yeah. I should also mention that you performed with a collective.
Online collective,
Yeah.
3 AM. 3 artists from Myanmar, so 3 AM. So yeah.
And you performed at APT 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. What year was that?
2 years ago,
2021.
2021, I think. Yeah.
2021. Yeah, I have a little memory for this time because and we sent all the details and then the coup just happened, so
Yeah.
we were just scared of us.
Yeah.
So is 3 a.m. What is that? Are you looking specifically at Myanmar in your work? Can you describe 3 a.m. to us?
Okay, and we showed there some performance photography and some performance video as well. Video is about the title is Civil War. It's about the Civil War. We made this video after the coup. At that time, it's really risky. We made it at my home, and then even the cameraman, when they came on the way, they have to hide the camera and on the seat or something like that. It's really
When who came?
Camera
When
the shoot, shoot the So we made this in this condition. So we tried, and it's about the Civil War because we all just relative, we are just like a brother and sister, but we have to fight. So it's really a sad thing. Yeah.
So you're not. Are there other two people in Myanmar still?
Not there in French.
Oh, really? Okay. And they gave refugee status?
Actually, one Vietnamese, and she married to a French artist. So another guy called he's not in French with the refugee status.
Okay. So do you think that you'll be able to collaborate together with them?
I'm hoping.
It's interesting thinking about how there was kind of a gap in time in Myanmar when artists could really begin working in kind of really exciting ways, but it was such a short amount of time. What's the state of how are there galleries running now, or what, is everything shut down? Do you have artist friends still in Myanmar who are practicing?
Most of the artists just moved to another country or the jungle camp just after the coup, and then some are still remain in the country, but who remain in the country, they cannot do like sensitive work. They can do like some landscape drawing or movies or the portrait. That's it. Yeah, they have to be really careful. So, But most of the artists who do care about political things already in overseas. Yeah.
That was a big thing when I'm looking into for like various texts or artists and essays. There's like such a blind spot of trying to get that information from people who are in Myanmar making, because everything's censored there. The newspapers are censored. It's very 1984. Newspapers are censored. Books are censored. Like artists are censored. So it's such like.
So how have you been getting the information then?
There are,
and does it match up to what Mae is describing?
Definitely. So a lot of, I think there was a book moved to Thailand, and so it's usually like expat. They're not living there at the moment. In terms of, there are a few news sources of people, but they're sent out from Thailand. I'm not familiar with all the Burmese artists. That's probably I've looked, but we can't make the political work on it in Thailand at the moment. And a lot of texts are a bit dated as well. They're like at least 10 years old now almost. So it's like one of the biggest shames of like the politics is that artists and writers haven't been able to make something about the situation.
Because that would be like a record, really.
Yeah.
Such a really important historical moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Critical moment.
Yeah, and it's just like, and I try to find sort of books or something, commentary on the coup from people in Burma, but it's often very factual rather than opinion pieces, you know, or
It's objective.
yeah, very objective information. That's just sort of statistics and news information, but there's I found it quite hard to find that information. But you said you find a lot of information on Facebook from people like about the farm, how people were hiding underneath the chakra. And was that someone in Myanmar posted that on Facebook?
Actually on Instagram there was some
So that's kind of like the best way to get information.
Yeah,
Would you say?
yeah. Yeah, they're reporting out from outside of Myanmar.
Okay.
So yeah.
Secondhand information.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm aware of time, so I think I might open up to anybody who may have questions. Darren, do you have a question? No. No? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So you settled in Australia, was it a year ago or quite recently? I was just wondering, did you already have connections with other artists in Australia, both from Myanmar and Australian artists? Or have you found forging those connections and being almost transplanted into a new country, but also a new art scene? How have you found that again?
When I came here, I only knew our curator who lives in Brisbane, and then he made some lots of foundation here, and then I met Mia, I met Mia sitting over there, and I met Amisha, so it's been before, I met Turan in 2020, I think he came to Myanmar.
Who was that?
Turan, a curator for art. So lucky that I had a connection with him. Before that, I had no idea.
Yeah, but you've only been here 6 months.
Yeah.
So
Right,
fresh.
you've been in such a short amount of time.
Right.
6, because you said it took a year to get your visa.
2 years.
When I applied through, 4 months later, I get a visa, and then after we get a visa, and then we're just like, oh, you have to go the next month, like that they said. But we are stuck like 1 more year in the border because the Thai government they didn't let us to go. So it's like
A long time.
Any other questions?
Actually, because I get to sit with here quite a bit. Some of the reflections from people who come through and seen the exhibition have been very specific to the scale. One person was already if this could be that dimension box. Case someone's wondered about it, but like being a small, narrow, like insight into something. It's been a lot. It's been kind of like provocative.
I love
this imagination.
I think like kind of fun reading to it. I mean, it wasn't like I sought out a specific paper side. It was very much I went to the paper supply shop, liked this side. I think I like with some of the works, and I've tried to represent how overcrowded the prison is, and like in accounts, like men or prisoners have to sleep on their sides in rooms when there's no space for them to sleep flat, and so the scale also wanted just to make it feel sort of tight, and some of them not really fit in sort of this sense of like what's going on around it. But nothing to do with the cigar box.
Or you can ask me and my let's
Thank you so much.